Bonetti Explosive with Matt Burnett.
1898.
He's gonna show us all about his tank. Hell yeah. He's gonna show us some bombs. Fire in the hole!
Should I have a helmet on? What's happening?
We're gonna shoot some Tommy guns. Let's fucking go.
If I put it on right now and something happened, everybody here would be injured.
Fire in the hole!
Woo! He said, why you walk around with Thompson? I was like, because if I run into somebody, I ain't gonna be outgunned. This is your selector. It's on safe, then it's semi-auto, then it's full.
It's not gonna go anywhere you don't want it to go. It feels like you're holding a rhinoceros.
So that wherever this hand is aiming, that's where your fire is going.
It's one of the Vietnam tunnels. You never know what's gonna happen. See some crazy shit.
This is the laboratory. Wow. That's what it was designed to be. That's why there's a bench over there, and chemicals, and a vent hood. And if I do anything that gives off dangerous fumes or unknowns or whatever, we conduct it in here, and then it's venting everything out. It actually has a recirculating air deal that comes in this top vent so that it's pulling as little air as possible out of the room. Otherwise, in the hot summertime, what ends up happening is you suck in all that humid air. And a lot of the chemicals in here, they like to be dry and cool. Lauren set up my freaking YouTube channel, which I didn't even know she was doing. And she had it where all the comments go straight to my email. So in the morning, I come in at 7 o'clock in the morning.
There's a lot of pissed off people out there.
I'm in for China.
Yes, people my morning starts with like poetry. I listen to these poems and stuff while I'm working out. I'm getting my day started. But now I go check my email and it's like, this guy sucks. Look at his forehead. It's just on and on and on and on. And I'm like, and at first it's like, how you deal with this? But then I was like, it's because I'm doing stuff. I don't even really drink, but I've started making wine. This is a pear wine, and it's about ready to bottle. My calculation, it should be pretty dry. Yeast sugar ratio was such that it shouldn't be too sweet. This cabinet is actually dedicated to anything that goes in your body. I don't allow any of this glassware to be used for the explosives, experimentation. Everything in here is dedicated to plants or making a salve or something. There's this really cool piece of glassware I've got called a Soxolette extractor. It's one of my favorite pieces, and I really enjoy it. And the way it works is, let's say you want to extract salicylic acid from willow tree. So you would take the bark, you pack the bark up until you see this little U shape. You would pack it just below that, and then you put a little bit of cotton on top. And then you would hook this to a flask underneath, and you have a condenser. You have this big condenser over here. And so you'll run your cold water in and out, and then what happens is this flask, you put a solvent in here, whether it's water, alcohol, ether, whatever is going to dissolve what you want out of this plant material. And then as you heat it, it comes up through here, it goes up here, and then it cools down and condenses, and it drips into here. It's soaking that material, right? Okay. Until it gets, and then notice there's a little port at the bottom. So it also, so as it's rising here, it's also rising here together. But when it gets right here, this one goes over, and it siphons it all out. But only siphons the liquid, not the plant matter, into the bottom. The compound you're after stays in this flask while the solvent is recycled and goes back and gets more and gets more and gets more. And so this is a way to use a small amount of solvent, get a high concentration of whatever you want out of this plant. I buy cars like a girl drinks the alcoholic drink, It tastes good.
Something fruity and sweet.
Something fruity and sweet, and that car is fruity and sweet. So that car, because my friend Beth was in England at a car show, she sent me a picture of her in this car, and it had these really sexy curves, and I was like, what is that? She's like, oh, let me ask. And she goes, oh, it's a Shelby Cobra. I didn't know anything about cars, so I started looking at Shelby Cobras. Well, original Shelby Cobras like 1.2 million for a cheap one. But then there's these things called kit cars. Well, I'm not such a car guy that I gotta have an original. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna buy more land with a couple $1 million on a damn car. For sure. But I thought, why not? I'll get a cool car. I don't care if it's a kit car. So I started looking around all over the country, and I saw that one. It's got an old carbureted engine in it, a 351 Windsor. It's stroked out to 427. Like, I learned all this stuff after I bought it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not a car guy.
Yeah, but I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, we gotta hide your body. Yeah, there we go. That's up there. So you tell me over there, that's where you take bullets apart from the police,
Right.
government too, or just police?
Not just police and estate sales. We also get ammunition from family. Someone passes on. Grandpa had a bunch of old hunting stuff, whatever. They don't know what to do with it. They bring it to me and we disassemble it, take it apart. In some cases, we facilitate resale. So if, let's say, family had a collector and he died and they have a collection of stuff and they don't really know the value of it, what to do with it, then we go and try to find legal buyers for it.
So why do people say they inherit a bunch of bullets or the police get a bunch of bullets? Why are they wanting them to be decommissioned instead of reselling or putting them to use or something?
There's a lot of people out there that reload ammunition and they
Right.
reload it incorrectly. And so it may look great, but when you pull the trigger on it, it blows your gun up.
Right.
So if you had a grandfather that did that and he passes away and now there's just this tub of ammunition.
And you don't trust his self-loaded ammunition.
Yeah, I mean, that's a liability for everybody involved. And so here you pull everything down. If it's damaged, you can sell it for the metal value.
Got it.
If it's good quality, you can go back to a reloader to reload it. My father was semi-entrepreneurial. He did a wedding photography business on the side, and then he worked for NASA. And my grandfather was definitely an entrepreneur. We're here because he set up a sawmill with the cedars in this area, and he changed his name to Burnett in the 30s because he couldn't get any work because of discrimination. I mean, like Italian.
Right.
So he went from Benetti to Burnett, and he was that generational thing. He kind of built those shoulders for my parents to stand on, and then my parents built shoulders for me to stand on. And then now my goal is, I want my kid to have his pilot's license by 17. So get up there.
Is that why you named it Bonetti Explosives as an homage?
Yeah, I did. And also it turned out to be an advantage because when you're a new young guy, I was 26 years old when I started an explosives company. Nobody takes a 26-year-old serious. And so when I came in as Matt Burnett for Bonetti Explosives, well, everybody in the industry assumed I worked for Bonetti Explosives. Nobody knew I owned it. And it was great because the egos were so inflated that if a 60-year-old man is talking to a 26-year-old guy delivering explosives, and that dude knows that he's out here being paid hourly, and his 26-year-old kid is taking all that profit to the bank, and we're doing all this, and we're sending metal to him, this twerp, it just doesn't go over well.
Yeah.
But no one has a problem talking to the guy at the counter at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Nobody. They don't
Smart.
even know that you own it.
This is a good play.
Yeah, it's solid. I learned that by accident because my ego was, I want you to know that I own this.
Totally.
But what would end up happening is people don't listen. No one listens. In fact, that's the stage I'm at now is learning to listen is superpower. But at that time, they would say, well, how long have you been with Bonetti? And I'd be, well, actually, I started it, 3 years ago, and doing this and this, blah, blah. And then they would just come right back to, so when you started working for Bonetti, like,
Yeah.
I've never heard it. And I just gave up. I was like, oh, okay, I'll play that part. Yeah, I'll just work here. And they would tell me, do you know Bill Ingston or whatever? And I'm like, no, I think he worked for Bonetti about 10 years ago. And I'm like, pretty sure he didn't. But I would just be like, I never ran into him.
Yeah, big company. I don't know. Can you tell us about these combat vehicles you got stashed here?
Yeah, so I wanted a Hummer to haul people around in West Texas, and I wanted it to be tan because everything out there's tan. And a buddy of mine, very wealthy friend of mine, played these government auctions, and he would put in these bids on these things, and he'd never win them, right? He calls me up one day, he goes, you ain't gonna believe this. He said, before I went to bed last night, I put in a crazy low price on one of these Hummers with 5,000 miles on it. He said, I woke up this morning, I want it. So he goes and gets it, and for about a year he's playing with it. And I said, dude, I want one just like you got. Can you help me with these auctions? He looked high and low. He said, man, they're like 20 grand, and they got lots of miles on them. He said, I'll sell you mine for what I got. So he sold me this one. And then later, some guy in town showed up, and he had that thing sitting on the lot. And his brother did the same thing, just won it at an auction. And then one day I had a windfall of some money, and there's this arms dealer that floats through here once in a while. In the industry, he's a known guy. He's like a ghost. You never seen him until he shows up. And he's looking around my farm one day and goes, you need a scorpion out here. I said, what the hell is a scorpion? He goes, well, the tank people say it's not a tank. He said, but it looks like a tank. It's got tracks, a turret, and a gun. And he said, it'd be perfect for here. It goes really fast. It's fun. Okay, well, I just filed that in my head, but I made the mistake of telling my two little boys, hey, we're going to get a tank. Well, they never shut up about that. But one day, I get a wad of cash, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do with this? So I started looking online. And actually, at that time, I was like, I'm going to get that classic car. And my wife, of all people, goes, you need to get the tank. She goes, you can make money with the tank. You give people rides, it's an investment. I said, I like the way you think.
I wish my wife said, get a tank. That's a good investment.
Yeah, I'm like, I was going to get a 1960s Corvette, but you want the tank, okay. And I do have a license to make it live. We're in the process of that, so that beast will shoot live.
We'll be back.
Yeah,
back
you
for
tell us when that's ready.
that. Yeah.
Episode 2.
We'll do a christening, break a champagne bottle. Yeah. I can't imagine that thing going 70 miles an hour. Can you imagine seeing that?
Just that
ripping,
flying
ripping at
down
you?
the highway.
Or a bunch of them ripping at you?
Dude, take that to the straightaway track. Take that to Coda. See what happens.
take that to go.
So, okay, so then what's the difference between a tank and a CRVT?
So my understanding is that you would have true armor, wouldn't be aluminum. Although there is a tank in the U.S. arsenal called a Sheridan, and it's aluminum. I think the Russians, they had some agreement many years before the war where England had some stuff at a location, and the Russians were like, you can't have tanks. And they're like, well, they're not tanks. And then the Russians were like, nah, looks like a tank, walks like a tank, it's a tank. So they made them get them out of there. It's got 1970s night vision on it, it still works. That's what that big knob is
Cool.
on the side.
To my untrained eye, this is a tank.
I don't know if you ever said this. What was this traditionally produced for? War or specific use against?
So the British developed this as a reconnaissance vehicle. So this was
Okay.
meant to be something light and fast.
Okay.
Never meant to be main battle.
Just like get in
So
there.
get in there, take out small positions, or give a reconnaissance of the area, and then get out.
Can your son drive this?
My son does drive. This is the best babysitter in the world. This is where the ammunition would come in. That little puller right there is where the lady sits and processes that. But this is for putting it back together.
Oh.
So you dump the brass in here, you
Yeah.
put the gunpowder in here, and you pull this lever, and every time you do the lever, a fresh bullet falls out. So this is fully automated. So the grand scheme plan for this is while we destroy over there, we put together over here, but not for resale to public, but for our use. We shoot a lot.
I also love how you said when you just get some cash, you just buy something cool. Or it's part of like something you can either learn with or make some money with. It's like part of the ecosystem.
It is.
You just bring it all in. Kind of like fun. It's also a tool for you, but it's also you can potentially help people with it or make some money.
100%.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, everybody struggles with the 3 o'clock in the morning thoughts, you know, like, am I doing enough? Have I done enough? Am I a failure? You know, one day I was telling my wife, I was like, because of technology now, we're exposed to everybody. I mean, you're watching what Elon Musk is doing. To me, that's the bar. The bar or the top guy. Why are you not doing that? You know, and then you got to sit and you have to think and you ask yourself, you know, am I happy where I'm at? Maybe, I mean, I don't have to be the rocket man, right? I don't have to be the top of this or that. What I need to be is what I am. What am I? Because that's what you're supposed to be. And she goes, that's actually some pretty high bars to be set. I was like, well, yeah, because you should be the dumbest person in the room. You should be the poorest person in the room. It's not comfortable because you're always seeing your deficiency. But if you just get that ego thing out of the way, that truly is a roadmap for where you need to go to get better, to become whatever you're going to be. Everybody is like a seed in the ground, and we really don't even know what plant it's going to be until you water it, until you give it some time, give it some sunshine. And if you're coming up a pine tree and you're looking at an oak, you're missing the point. You're never going to be an oak. You're going to be a pine, but that's a great tree too, you know? Just don't be a hackberry. Those things get big enough to die. They suck. But I don't even drink wine either, but I got this vineyard over in New Mexico I go to, the Esperanza Vineyard out by Faywood. There's a great hot spring there I go to, and I always go get that and I bring back gifts. You guys drink wine? Not a lot.
Not really.
Okay, well, I do give them out as gifts. And then this wine is that I made. This was from grapes this year. And it's kind of a dry wine. It's drier, you know? But this other wine, I bottled it in other bottles. So it's got other stuff on there, but that's not what's in there. It's the first one I made, and it's like freaking grape juice.
I mean, whenever you get that pear one made, I'll take one of those.
Okay.
My last name's Ruska. You know, that it like means pear farmer in Czech. Be a great gift.
Okay.
Just like, because my aunt and uncle are super into wine. They'd be blown away. And then take a picture of like how you've been making it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can live up to all that. I'll taste it. It tastes like ass. I'll be like, catch you next summer.
Hey, it's 101. Right?
yeah.
It's 101.
It's true.
Yeah.
101. Yeah. But it's fine. You know, it's a skill set to have. So like you said, everything I do kind of has a reason, a purpose. Like this room is designed very purposefully. So the wall over here represents the old. These windows are from Nuremberg, Germany. I put the brick on, and I wanted it to resemble like a war-torn World War II building. So that's why like this is torn out.
How did you get these walls from Germany?
Well, I got the windows from Germany.
Oh, the windows. I thought you said the.
Wood. No,
I said like the whole brick and
this
everything.
just came from floor and decor.
Oh, got it.
But I did take the plaster and I did the whole
Got it.
plastering on it. Yeah. And then the floor and this wall is modern. Okay. I don't even drink wine either, but I got this vineyard over in New Mexico I go to, the Esperanza Vineyard out by Faywood. There's a great hot spring there I go to, and I always go get that and I bring back gifts. You guys drink wine?
Not a lot.
Not really.
Okay, well, I do give them out as gifts. And then this wine is that I made. This was from grapes this year, and it's kind of a dry wine. It's drier, but this other wine, I bottled it in other bottles. It's the first one I made. It's like freaking grape juice.
I mean, whenever you get that hair one made, I'll take one of those.
Okay.
My last name's Ruska, means pear farmer in Czech. It'd be a great gift.
Okay.
Just like, because my aunt and uncle are super into wine. They'd be blown away. And then take a picture of like how you've been making it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can live up to all that. I'll taste it. It tastes like ass. I'll be like, catch you next summer.
Hey, it's 101, right?
Yeah.
It's 101.
It's true. But this wall here is modern, and the floor is modern, but the ceiling in this wall is old, and then the ends are transition. And then it was to be mind, body, spirit. That was like the thought behind the whole thing. And the reason this bookshelf is exactly where it's at with those windows, because in the evening when the sun sets, it illuminates the books, and it leaves you in a little shadow, and it's just glowing gold books on either side of you. So it's really a great place.
Did you design this yourself?
Mm-hmm. Well, the bookshelf was at a friend of mine's house, but I designed the windows off of this bookshelf so it would do that. It's really nice in the afternoon to be here. And then the gutter, it has no ceiling lights. It got an old bomb. I made a light over there and a lamp, but little lights in the gutter that go all the way around. And so at night, the ceiling kind of glows. I was thinking about Argentina not long ago released some documents, and they claimed that Adolf Hitler lived there.
Yeah.
And he went to Argentina and lived until the 60s and fathered 2 children.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, Adolf Hitler goes to his favorite coffee shop every Saturday in Argentina. And he makes friends. And he's sitting there drinking a cup of coffee, and his buddy Miguel is just telling him how the wife is bitching at him and he's got a bad day. And Adolf's got to sit there and listen to this guy's bad day. And he's like, yeah, well, I brought the world to its knees and built a dictatorial empire and killed millions of people, but you're having a bad day. That's what blows my mind.
Thinking about the aftermath is hilarious.
Thinking of all the stories, have that on his shoulders. And maybe, he didn't even care about it, but at some point, maybe he did. The crushing weight of that, but to live a normal life, to pretend like that never happened.
We don't know what was in his head. Maybe it was a blessing that he's like, well, you know what? Like, I'm free from those clutches, and now I can actually live in peace in Argentina and just sit with Miguel and have a coffee, smoke a cigar. Or yeah, maybe it's just reeling in his brain of like, I have to go back. I have to capture Warsaw. Like, I have to get Paris. Like,
I know. I mean,
what's he thinking?
Pull it down. Sorry, M16s. These are for the camp. I had a Toyota Tacoma, and a buddy of mine wanted it, and I said, man, I don't want money for it. So he made these rifles custom for me for our camp, and they have serial numbers that are significant. Like this one is called RDX, model number RDX, and the serial number is 1898, the year it was invented. RDX is the explosive that goes in C4.
Wow.
He's even got Madanite. My explosive is one of them. Madanite. I mean, what the hell? I don't know what else to name it. And I used this in Puerto Rico. I chopped it in the jungle of Mount Pyro. It sounded like fairy tale, but it's true.
Every detail here has significance. Nothing is unturned.
So this is the case of C4. It's generally the 40-pound cases. And it looks like this, plastic inner packaging. And then it's just in bulk form. It's just clumps, right? And it's kind of cold today, so it's a little bit stiffer. But everybody that's worked with C4 will tell you when they see this stuff, they're like, oh, mine was harder than that. Well, yeah, if it was factory pressed in a block, it'll be very dense. But when it's bulk like this and it first shows up, it is a lot harder. So what we'll do is we're gonna use a little bit of this.
Let's light it up.
It's like a little ratchet right here.
Okay.
And it turns around, and in here there's a spring, and there's a button to push it up. So I can put this on here, and it slides on like that.
It's like a little drone.
Yeah, and then I turn it this way. We'll take it out of it.
What? That's sweet.
And I made these phone holders so that it'll sit like this. I got this original design off of the internet, but then I went onto the CAD and I redesigned it. So then I had put M. Burnett for Max Barnett, and then I made it smaller because it doesn't need to be this thick.
Right.
So then I made it smaller.
Yeah, so is this like the
Yeah, this
the
is all.
box of goods that you've created over the last few months?
Yeah, it is. I like this one
cool.
the most.
Yeah, these are cool, man. Really detailed pieces.
Yeah.
I'm impressed at what a 3D printer can do.
Oh, yeah. I'm selling them at the big farmers markets.
Oh, yeah?
All on in the town. So I 3D printed these business cards.
Dude, what? That's freaking cool. How much do you sell the flying things for?
Oh,
What do you call them by the way? There's no name for it yet?
like flying something. But I would sell those for like $4, maybe $5.
Can I buy 2 of them?
Oh, 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give one
sure.
to my girlfriend. She'll love one.
Yeah, perfect.
Pleasure doing business with you, Max.
With your explosive that you patented and made, is it anybody can order it? Is there a special process?
It's interesting. Legally, anybody can order it because it's not explosive.
Yeah.
It's 2 parts.
Yeah.
But as a company policy, I only sell to those with an explosive license. When you blow stuff up for 20 years, and all the time, I got C4 in my backyard. Most people don't have that, right? So as you build that hands-on experience for 20 years, it's just a tool you use every day. You just get to where you know. I don't know how to explain it. Think about the people that do trick shooting where they can hit a block of wood in the air. I mean,
It's just 10,000 hours. You got the mastery down.
when you do it 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
know how to grab a handful of C4 and perfect it.
You're like, that'll do it. People who create these devices for sale, they'll send this stuff to me to do a review. You know, like, hey, this is the one bang M12 distraction device from IWA. Let me give you my thoughts on it. And we'll pop a few of them, and then I do a video for them. Had a special forces guy that did these events where you could pay money and he would fly you in with a helicopter to the top of a building in Houston, and like you would go down and meet the woman in a red dress and she'd give you a list of things to do, and then the chopper would bring you out here and you'd get some door breach and stuff. And so he wanted me to build all this for that activity. Well, that never happened, but the oil field showed up. That happened. So they rented. We're going to tear all this down and we're just going to keep the barrels because the barrels are more than enough for protection. We're going to get rid of the timbers. But we need to wait for summertime, get real nice and dry, because we can bring heavy equipment in here and sink. All right, next up, let's blow up some C4. When you explode stuff, counterintuitive, closer sometimes is safer, because if you're at an angle, like let's say that this were back here, it could reach a low angle and get you. So you'd actually be safer being just on the other side of this with this closer,
Right.
because it blows up and out versus over there. You do have to be aware of what goes up comes down. That being said, that depends on where we put the explosive. If we put the explosive on the outside of this out here, it's going to blow it down. If we put it over here, it's going to throw it that way. It's pretty straightforward how it works. It's like equal and opposite reaction.
So in this scenario, where you have a low barrier here, a high barrier here, what direction would be the best to blow it up?
The best place to put it is semi-close to this barrier, because that makes any angles of material higher. So it has to go up, and we're going to want to be direct opposite of this barricade. This area over here, we don't really care about it. It's going to catch this stuff a little bit higher angle, but there's literally thousands of acres over here of nothing. No houses, no roads, nothing. And what I think would be really cool to do is take our sheet explosive and do a ribbon charge all the way around it and just see how it spanks. So let's go make that charge first. We want to double this up, and I want to try a little experiment. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I honestly don't know how it's going to turn out, but what I want to do is I want to roll this up like that, and then I'm going to roll this from the opposite side. We're just going to play a little bit here and learn together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this up thick on both sides, and then remember that thing I told you about the Monroe effect, how if you had a concave on one side it would do a negative on the target. So what we'll try to do is see if we can get a cutting action by building it up thick on the sides and top and leaving a void, and see if it'll cut.
Okay.
So let's see what we can do.
So we're trying to cut the metal bar in half.
Yeah, it's a 152 millimeter round, and we're going to see if we can make a cut in the metal, in the body. Oh, now see, that's what's scary. This stuff loves to stick to itself, so if you make one roll too many, you might have screwed the pooch. And actually, this is way more firm and stays together better than C4 does, actually. Okay, so see what we're going to do is we're going to fold this and get that V pattern going.
An edge.
We're going to have that V pattern coming around like this. Now, I do want to steal a little bit of this, and I'm going to want to use it on my detonator. So any high explosive has to have a detonator to function correctly, and you don't want to just lay it on there. You want a good explosive continuity. So I'm going to use this sheet explosive to kind of build up like a little booster for that detonator so it initiates this properly. So this is the transmitter, this is the receiver. So we'll hook the blasting cap in here, and when we push, we select this is number 2. When we select number 2 and we tell it to arm and we tell it to fire, it'll set that cap off. These are very expensive units, and they are designed for blasting, not fireworks. They'll work for fireworks, but they're designed for what we're doing. So they're not cheap. They're quality. And good practice, you want to keep this with you when you're setting the shot up, because you don't want somebody to walk over and start playing with that thing when you're down there hooking it up, right? See how we have that ridge? We're going to want to see if we can get some kind of a cutting effect all the way around this thing.
What the cone would.
Out here that was really cool, and you could just peel it and stick it, and buddy, it cut through anything you put it on.
Is that what this is typically used for? Is projects
Cutting.
where you need to cut steel and
Yeah.
specific like pipes or?
Yes, exactly. In fact, you can do a diamond charge with this stuff and snap off solid tool strings,
Like oil rigs or?
oil rigs, or if you were disabling a machine shop. They behave like a high explosive in that they detonate. They don't just burn like gunpowder. You put a spark on it, it detonates, but it doesn't require confinement to detonate. It will detonate just as a pile of chemical on a table. When that detonates in the presence of a secondary explosive, it initiates it. It causes it as well to detonate. If you just light that or put a fuse on it, nothing's going to happen, or it may catch on fire. But that's it. It won't function as designed. You have to have a detonator. And this is the key thing. This is why working with explosives is a little safer than people think, because you could shoot that with a rifle and it won't go off. This will set it off. So if I keep this removed from that, the likelihood of that going off is very low. And so we set our shot up. We do all this work before we ever bring this out. And when I bring this out to plug it in, you leave. Then there's only one person down here working on this. And if there's an accident, it's only me. And then you guys get to recovery. If I put it on right now and something happened, everybody here would be injured. So it's you can treat explosives like radiation: time, distance, and shielding. Limit your time, put a good distance between you. And so what we got to do is we select number 2. We're going to hit arm. And so right now it's talking back and forth. You'll see it go steady. When you push fire, it's going to blow up. So what I say is you put your finger right over fire. Make sure your finger is on it. Okay, so it's armed. When you push fire, it's going to blow. Put your finger on fire, then look up and give us 3 fire in holes. Go fire in a hole, fire in a hole, fire in a hole, and then push it, but be watching.
Finger over,
Yeah.
3 fire in the holes, and then fire.
Let's take a knee. Fire in the hole, fire in the hole, fire in the hole. Power in your hand.
Smells like tasty explosive barbecue.
It reminds me of the little cap guns you had as a kid with the red, and you pop, 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 just a large amount of it, just straight gunpowder.
To me, it smells like Chinese New Year.
Yeah, there you go.
All the firecrackers and the dragon
Yeah.
getting lit off. But that's what happens when you have an Asian mom.
All right, so this is interesting. We don't have some dramatic Hollywood effect where it's blown in half, a laser cut. You can achieve that, though. And if you pay attention to detail, you'll see that this metal has been squeezed. But even more detail, you'll notice a very faint, gnarly little edge of some splashing. What that is the formation of that jet. We could do something kind of cool and see if we could get a pattern like with that leaf. So if we take this, mush it all around here, and we initiate from the very top, we're going to see if we get a leaf pattern. Now, if we initiate here, I don't think it would be as effective. I really think we want to put it here. There's a possibility we rip right through this 1-inch steel, but I don't think so. I think with the ground backing it up, we're going to get a sharp imprint, and with any luck, we'll be able to see that leaf.
I'm thinking you don't want to confuse that in a snowball fight for a snowball.
We did a lot of fun things when it snowed.
Yeah.
We made huge snowmen and
Yeah.
we shot them with a machine gun.
We're going to put it right here. If anything, it hits down on that, it's going to flip it, and it can come up this way. Remember what I was telling you?
Yep.
Put your finger on, but don't push it.
Hover.
That way, a lot of people, they'll be looking for it, they push it, and they miss the explosion.
Yeah,
It's like put your finger ready so you can see.
Get prepped.
There you go. When it's solid,
It's steady.
give
All right.
us 3 fire in the holes, and then push it. Let me blow the horn.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Woo!
Okay, so this is interesting. This is a great teachable moment. So somewhere down here, there it is, it's going to be a piece of steel. Wow. Now, she's going to be a little warm because it doesn't have a lot of mass, and it's definitely warm, but it's not crazy. It was on the other side. Okay? It was like this. And if the light is just right, you can actually see some ribs of that leaf. You can see the main stem coming right down the middle. Not the scratch mark, but right down the middle is a little bit of a stem, and then you can see some stuff coming off. Now, this is a rusted piece of metal, If this had been buffed to a mirror finish, you would have a mirror of a leaf right there. I'm gonna push this down, get a little volcano there. It's actually gonna be consumed in the shot, so it's not the end of the world. For this shot, that's all I have to do. I'm just gonna set it on there, and we're gonna blast it. We may not get the penetration we expect because it has the backing of this soil. Sand is a great thing to use to stop ballistic. Every particle crushes a little bit and absorbs that energy. Who's shooting this one?
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! You know what's funny? I the delay. I looked down.
And you missed it.
I kind of missed it. Yeah.
God dog it. Well, luckily we got
I mean,
one more.
that delay did freak me out.
It does. It messes with you.
Even
You're
though
like,
we
"Did I
just had a
touch
whole
it?
conversation about
Did I
it.
just touch it? I think I looked down too when I did it.
You know what it is? It's because it's not a mechanical click.
Yeah.
If it was
You
mechanical,
don't
I would have thought that I would have been like, yeah, I know I clicked it.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite have the velocity of C4, but when it's in this bag, it has the moldability of it. And if you can mold the shape of it and choose where you initiate it, you can manipulate it as such to get the maximum effect out of it. And so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to add it. So now we have an explosive. But there's a technique here, I call it shake and bake. So you put it in here and you twist it so you got this little air bubble, and then you shake and bake it. And make sure it gets all mixed up in there. You got to get it going. You're fat, you get your jiggles. And then you got the little crunchies in there and you want to roll those out. Intimate mixing is the important part. Y'all ever seen the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Long time ago.
I ain't never seen it, but there's a line in there where he says, "Damn, you use enough dynamite, Butch?" Remember that? Yeah, I want to do that one day. Now, to function this, I'm going to have to spike it. So what I'll do is I'll put a hole right in the top, and then that way I can push the detonator through the bag. But as long as this bag's on it, the liquid component won't evaporate. Now, I always tell my clients, make and use this within the same 24-hour period. But I've kept it as a test for up to a month. Still function just fine. This is a 105 millimeter artillery shell. It's an illumination round and it's empty. It's got a fairly thick wall because it has to contain a lot of pressure to puke out that parachute and flare mix out the rear. Now let's pretend that this was in a high explosive round style. It could be filled with concrete and have an inert fuse. In that case, nothing's gonna happen. It could be that it's a full TNT loaded shell, but it has an inert fuse. That's why it didn't blow up. But if we hit it here, there's going to be some of that TNT around that cavity and will cause initiation of the shell. And it could be that it's full of concrete, but it has a live fuse for training purposes, but it didn't detonate. And if we hit it here, we'll hit the boost. So if we hit it here, we run the best chance of any one of those combinations setting this round off. If we don't have a shape charge, we're going to have to use bulk explosive. This is going to be your biggest blast of the day. It's a full pound. Everything else was less than a pound by far.
Like, why rent to normal renters when you can just rent to giant companies that have the money? And then just use your land.
That's the lesson of this whole series. Get land.
Getland.com.
1-800-GET-YOUR-LAND, 2FUNGUYSLAND.com.
Yeah.
Ready. Right, it's on you when you're ready.
It's ready, baby.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Hell yeah.
That was a good
God,
boom. Very good boom.
It's very satisfying.
That is
So
extremely
satisfying.
Very satisfying.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I'm chill. When life throws pickles at you, you know, you're just like, well, I could blow that up if I want, but not gonna. You know, full disclosure here, we had done a cutter on the backside that had cut that, okay? So this cut is not part of what we just did. However, this side was completely virgin, if you will. Now, if you remember from school, an arch is the strongest structure you can have. And the smaller that arch gets, the stronger it is. And one of the difficult things they run into with Ordnance is, if punching it with bulk explosive like that, is once you get down to around 30 or 20 millimeter rounds, they're really hard to crack because they're very compact and they have that arch shape. And so if you don't have a nice brisant explosive, you're not gonna be able to crack through them.
I also brought my Viet Cong war hat.
Oh, man.
Just in case. Traditional Vietnamese Viet Cong war hat. We're going to the Viet Cong tunnels. You never know what's gonna happen.
What we'll do is I'll carry the gun, or you can carry the gun, but we'll just do this one right now.
Okay.
So we'll walk over here, and actually right here is the best spot because we have people over here. So we want to be firing in this direction, right? So we want anything that skips, we want it to go in a safe direction. So the people are what we're mindful of. Now you don't want to shoot that artillery round that's made of steel. But what you can shoot are the cinder blocks. And this is your selector. So it's on safe, then it's semi-auto, then it's full. So I'll hand it to you in safe. We'll go over here. It's all you. When you're ready, you can reach up there with your finger, you pull that back, and drop it. Yep, you're loaded. All right. And you can put it on semi-auto, and then you can try a single shot a couple times. Try not to hit that steel one too much because them bullets will. All right. Pretty fun. Goes quick.
Very good.
Yep. And then what you do is you slide your thumb under it.
Oh.
And then see how it pops out.
Very nice.
All right, you want to hand it to your buddy over here? I'll get you another mag. There we go. Okay, you're on safe, so you slip it to semi-auto, the SA. There you go. Now you'll take single shots. Whoop.
I don't think it's in there.
That was my fault. Let me see it. Yeah, it never went in. I think on sometimes it's better to not put full amount in there.
It like won't go all the way in.
Right. So put one less round than you need. Okay, it's on safe. Flip it to SA. Take a couple single shots. There you go. Piss me off. Let me see that thing. I don't want to steal the fun from you, but it should be good. I said that before, but maybe we're taking the pressure off. It's good. You got to put one in. Let's go ahead and rack it. There you go. All right, now flip it full auto. Doesn't take much. You got that old mag? Yeah. These are like $300 to $700 each because no one makes this anymore.
Yeah, they're so old school.
That was great.
All right, so rack it and make sure it's empty. Yep, and then pull the trigger in a safe direction, or you got to take it off safety. There you go. All right. Yeah. Then we'll try the next one. Now this is a true squirt gun. Take one, and then you got one. Here you go, buddy. Take one. And then I'll take one. I'm going to demonstrate this for you. All right, all the way down is semi-auto. And then 1/2 click up is full. You got to lean on this. I noticed you rose a little bit. Be slightly more aggressive, okay? It lets it rip. Fuck it. Pull it back and let it go. Okay, you're on semi-auto. Pull the trigger kind of quick though, because if you go real slow, it will slip into full auto when you shoot. There you go. Okay, now use this hand to pull this into you, nice and tight. And then let's do the full auto. There you go. Do a short bursts. Now you know why it's slipping into full auto? Why? Because he's shooting the way you should shoot, which is he's really smoothly pulling that trigger and it hits that sweet spot that's a machine gun. Hold on. I'm going to flip you up into full auto. Now you're in full auto.
I got one burst of it.
Hold on, let me get you another mag. That's just like Gina, she had really good trigger control. And I was like, get it off of full auto. She goes, it's not.
Now it's fun.
Pretty cool, right? I like to load the mag from the open bolt because, you know, once you do that, it's ready to shoot. But also, you're not fighting that damn bullet and the mag drops out. So here you go, take it. Okay, you're ready. When you don't have to do anything. When you pull the trigger, it will shoot. So what I recommend is shoulder it and shoot a pile of concrete and do like a 3-4 round burst. on the other side, flip it over. There's a thumb deal right here. You use this thumb to push up on that, and it'll drop that mag. Now, you rose up and knocked a limb out of that tree. So, I hope there ain't no cows over there. So this is why you want to lean in and use this hand to hug that to your shoulder so that it doesn't have a pivot point here, so that it can't do this. Because I was watching and it did this. So you want to be leaning in so that wherever this hand is aiming, that's where your fire is going.
Okay.
And you're kind of moving with your body, you know, like you're moving this way instead of the gun going crazy.
Zero kickback.
Right, it's so heavy. Then this is a fun one here. It's more like a typewriter. It's got a really great tempo. I'm gonna put the safety on. So that's the safety, that thing right there. See that? You push it forward, and now it's ready to shoot. So I'm gonna load it, and I'm gonna have that safety on. You just push it forward, and then you'll be ready to shoot. Okay?
Okay.
It matches his helmet.
Commies.
You sprayed all over it. That's good. And then the last up's the MP5. It's a crowd pleaser. It's smooth, German engineering. So safe, semi, full. I don't know what the hell E stands for, something in German. But E is semi-automatic, S is safe, F is going to be your full auto, okay? All right, let me see a mag. So for this one, I always put it in with the bolt back and then let it drop. It's all yours. Put it on semi, pop a few, and then slip it to full auto. Nice. Bingo. Nice.
Notice you have a target over there.
It's a pile of concrete.
It's been hiding from me. What about the metal target?
You can go for that, yeah.
Got it.
There you go, flip it to full. Now hold on to it. Good deal. All right, let's get ready for your mushroom shoot. Woo! Some old boy, he said, Matt, you always said there ain't nobody in West Texas when you walk around out there. So why you walk around with a Thompson? I said, because if I run into somebody, I ain't going to be outgunned.
Did they use these in World War II?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are both on. 3, 2, 1.
How's it feel?
Awesome. That's so fun.
My hands were made for a Thompson machine
The
gun.
wood feels like well made. Also, it looks like it's just not gonna fucking break.
Yeah, it's a hardy gun.
Versus that other one was the communist gun. It's like, it feels like plastic. It almost was like how loose and like light it felt. Yeah.
It's a communist Chinese gun. That's why it doesn't shoot well. But you
Yeah.
take a nice Tommy machine gun, it feels like you're holding a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
It's not going to go anywhere you don't want it to go.
Yeah.
If you shoot something on accident, that's on you, because it's always going to shoot in the right spot.
The bicep workout though, holding it.
That's for sure.
3, 2, 1. Good deal.
We're out here in Columbus, Texas with Matt Burnett. We're gonna Blow some shit up, shoot some shit. Talk about lack philosophy.